Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of our podcast. Not episode 2, it can be an episode. Welcome to our second episode from our podcast. We be talking.
I'd call it an episode.
Yeah, I'd call it an episode. Podcasts are definitely called episodes. But
Right.
I'm Justin.
What's going on? I'm Logan.
And so, yeah, this podcast is about really anything, but mostly anime and games focus. We talk about the news in the week and then a topic at the end, like whatever we bring. This week might not be too topicy because a lot of the news happened, and a lot of these news are kind of topics in themselves.
Right. There's a lot of stuff going on, and some of it's actually pretty big, at least relating game industry wise or
And even anime at one point. So yeah, this is broke down. Like we talk about anime, then games, then whatever else after that, like movies, something like that. This week could be movies. Then we have a listener section that will address feedback, questions, corrections, or replies, anything like that. Just if you want to connect with us, you guys can just leave a comment here on the video, or for the YouTube video, or you can email us at couchtalkyt@gmail.com. Hit us on Twitter at couchtalkyt. So that's a few ways you guys can always connect with us. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start jumping into the news of anime. So let's start with the light news. Naruto, Bleach, and Yasha are all leaving Netflix this month. So if you want to watch all those on Netflix, you got less than a month.
Right. You better
leave September 1st. So
I mean, all those shows are long. If you add up all those episodes, you're gonna be there for a while.
I don't think you got a month left to watch them all.
Right. I'm guessing it's just license-ish things, maybe.
Maybe I could. It wasn't more like into it, but
crazy scandal. It was just, but these are like some pretty big classics. Obviously, Naruto is the most popular one, but like Bleach, it was part of the big three. Inuyasha, it's a classic. It was on Toonami, Adult Swim a long time ago for the longest time.
Well, it is an older one, and it is an old beloved one. So
right.
So yeah,
which I mean, I think most people who
are into anime have probably watched all of these or some
of
them,
or don't use Netflix for their anime. But I feel like Netflix can.
Who would not use Netflix for their anime? Come on. It's like they could use some other sites not recommended or CrunchyRoll. But good segue, me.
Amazing segue.
CrunchyRoll had their parent company bought out. Otter Media kind of bought out by AT&T. So yikes, baby.
I'd say that's pretty big.
That is pretty big. AT&T is one, with the net neutrality and everything going on, it makes it kind of worrisome for CrunchyRoll because they could, if they wanted to, fully make it to where the only way you could get CrunchyRoll is have AT&T, like their cable package, their internet package, or anything like that, or make you pay extra to get access to those. I mean, you're already paying it for now, but there is no guarantee that it doesn't get folded into the AT&T umbrella.
That would make sense. I certainly hope that doesn't happen. What I would hope for is AT&T, since they're a huge company, can actually provide the necessary resources to CrunchyRoll. Because from what I've seen and what I've heard, CrunchyRoll kind of has like spotty service sometimes. Yeah. Like it's not the most premium stuff, especially for a pay.
Yeah, but then AT&T is through, they bought Time Warner, right? Yeah, Time Warner, whose internet is also kind of
right. Well, yeah. I mean, I used to have AT&T and it was not smooth sailing. I will say that.
So yeah, I did see that. I didn't realize like there's a few obviously under that umbrella from Otter Media. I didn't realize Rooster Teeth was under Otter Media. So I guess AT&T now has a stake in Rooster Teeth.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I didn't realize like.
Is there anything
that was that way for Rooster Teeth? Because they started big as YouTube or whatever and everything. So It's kind of
Right.
interesting to see how they get drafts under AT&T.
Yeah. Is Crunchyroll the biggest thing under that, uh, like under the Otter Media?
Um, I
Just out of curiosity.
I know Elations. I don't really know too much. There's Full Screen, but I would say Crunchyroll. I mean, Rooster Teeth's pretty big too, but
Because it seems to be
and then there's
like a
Hello Sunshine, which is a media company under Reese Witherspoon. Which I don't know how big that is. Reese Witherspoon herself is big. I don't know how big her media company is though.
right. I wonder if this was like an anime focused decision, or if that was on their like list of priorities to get into the, anime space. Because I mean, Crunchyroll's what the probably the number one site to watch
Uh,
anime, like
yeah.
specifically anime. Because obviously Netflix is
I
bigger
mean,
and they have anime, but I
but
mean like
yeah, I mean, it's
specifically.
Crunchyroll or Funimation are really all you got.
True.
Uh,
That's interesting. I hope it's
let's see. I mean, Otter Media has more than 93 million unique monthly consumers, and on pace to deliver 75 billion video views. That's through all their stuff. Uh, I guess they're also one of the top 10 for subscription video on demand, but I mean, I don't know what all that means. But I'm guessing, I think full screens. But this is all pretty big. It all helps in there. So, whatever makes AT&T money, and hopefully they don't screw over customers that are jumping in with Crunchyroll and stuff like they've been known to do for their other stuff.
right. Yeah, we'll see. I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. The other thing in anime is One Punch Man season 2 premiere this Sunday. So the day this goes up, or yeah, so we're gonna have One Punch Man 2 season 1 premiere to watch.
This was quite the surprise. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, did
But
really
the
come
thing
out.
is, it's only season one. Like, season one's premiering Sunday. The rest of the show, winter 2020. So,
So
a year and a half later.
I hope you guys are ready to get hyped now, because well, you're gonna wait.
Right. I think the purpose of it is to maintain like the hype between season 1 and season 2, because it's been quite a long time since season 1. So they kind of want to give people that reminder, like, hey, we're coming back. Here's a little season or episode 1 for you to keep you satisfied.
And it is being done by a different studio too, right?
It is.
Yes. So, guess this. So when stuff like that happens, you kind of want to make sure you're doing everything right, so you're more willing to take your time with it. And
Right, that's
I think this would also help them judge, like what the experience is for the viewers and stuff.
right. I also read that they wanted to finish animation of every single episode before they started releasing it. So they wanted like
So
they
I mean,
wanted
they
to
can
finish
release
it,
it all
tweak
at
it, and
once, so
make
I don't have to
sure.
wait week to week.
Do what?
So they can
Oh,
release
it's
it all at once, so I can just binge it.
probably not.
Probably not, no. But yeah, also it just gives them a good chance to like gauge everything. Like, oh hey, maybe people thought this something here was lackluster, like animation style wise, or we can try to figure things out.
Right.
It is a long time for them to get all this done, though, for 2020.
They do have a while, and I'm assuming it's only 12 episodes. So, but they do have high expectations because people love this series a lot.
Yeah.
So, don't mess up.
It makes me wonder how long they've been doing this, right? Like, you're basically, if it's in 2020, you're basically giving yourself 24 months. So 2 months per episode, if it's 12 episodes. But if you've already been working on it, you're probably giving yourself more. It better be damn good, that's for sure.
Right. We'll see. We'll watch it. We'll review it.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's really nothing else too big in anime.
Right. Anime has like
anime
a
is like
bunch of little things.
sparse with news. Okay, like
Yeah.
at least stuff you don't like already know, or like it doesn't really just come out of nowhere too often.
Right.
Uh, but this is where most of our shows gonna start getting heavy, is in the
Ooh,
games. Just the games industry in general this week was insane.
it
Uh,
was chaotic.
we were talking about, oh, we could do this podcast like bi-weekly or weekly, but when stuff like this happens, it'd be too much to do it in a bi-weekly. Okay, so over at, I'm sure most people saw, Cecilia over at Kotaku wrote an article about the inside culture of Riot Games and just, the sexism there.
This is pretty big. Like, well, obviously, like no company wants, sexual harassment and like this toxic environment.
Yeah, normally like when you hear about a company, it's like a few people, but here at Riot Games, the way it looks like from all these sources, there's quite a bit of people that are talking about it, like as sources and stuff like that. It's not like just one person was, talked to about the culture there. It seems like it's pretty heavily prevalent in the
Right. It seems like it's the norm, you could
yes,
say.
yeah. Even
Yes.
I was joking because like Riot Games issued a statement shortly after, like apparently it has to be big enough for them to issue a statement. It was just one person that probably wouldn't have issued such a big statement, but we have a zero tolerance policy for sexism and all this stuff. Is like, well, from the way it sounds, you guys might as well just rebuild from the ground up. Like, it sounds like you have to let
Right.
go like 60-70% of your employees. There's like one stat in there from 2015 to 2016, with 25% of the people they let go were all like toxic in game to all their community people. So it's like that's a pretty high percentage of your employees that are just flaming in your game, not just outside of your game.
Right. Like, yeah, I saw Riot tweet like how like we're waiting, we're listening, we're gonna support stuff internally and stuff and like wait a few months to see how we're gonna fix this long term. I'm like, what do you mean how to I mean, I know it's not like a simple fix, but you can take drastic measures right away if you really wanted to fix it. Like,
Yeah, like this is just like really bad that they just don't know how to handle it because it's that
it's
bad.
it's so it's so hypocritical of Riot. Like, I know comparing um a game philosophy towards real life isn't like super comparable, but if you ever played League or are in the League community or know anything about League, Riot loves to battle toxicity in their game. Like they want to take like they want to lead the charge of getting rid of all toxic players, like fighting against all this toxicity. Well, turns out you're more toxic than the people you want to get rid of. Like your company is like a swamp from what it seems. Like it's worse because it's in person. It's actual well, I mean, in game they're real people obviously, but most it's over a
Yeah, yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So
It's a different like persona. A
it's
little, you're more amplified.
right, like it's different. Everyone can say things over a screen and it's not like it's hard to
Yeah,
describe. Like some people just say it they just say things to try and get you mad because there's the anonymity to it. But I mean, you have their workers physically doing things.
yeah. Like Megan Marie, who worked out there, she wrote out a blog post. I do recommend reading all this stuff, like the article at Kotaku and Megan Marie's post. Like she was in there, like first day of the job. Basically, these people, these Riot employees, they're encouraged to play the game during the breaks and everything. Like it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a secretary in finance, you have to play the game, which is kind of weird to me. That to do finance, you have to be forced to play the game, but that's a different point. And they're just yelling out like faggots at each other, like at the game and stuff. And then there's also yelling the N word. They're just yelling it. Apparently, that's okay to yell inside the workplace there. Uh,
That is so fucking like the hypocrisy just drives like it blows my mind.
yeah, there's like a lot of sort of like this one like how they disrespect women too. Like she gave a presentation, no one listened to her, so she had a man give the exact same presentation next week, and everyone listened to it and thought it was incredible, like a great presentation and everything, because he gave it and not her. It was the same presentation, just a week later. They'd all. That's how much they weren't paying attention. One girl, she was up for promotion, but she went to like a, a riot after party kind of thing, or like a work party. Her boss hit on her. She declined him. They gave the promotion to someone with 3 years of less experience and then fired her.
That's so messed up.
I know.
I hear people say like that's the culture of the tech industry, which I mean isn't an excuse at all. But like, how can Riot, who wants to, they want to get rid of toxicity, but they breed it
They
themselves.
do. Like, I have a friend that works at Ubisoft. It's not like that there. Like, yeah,
Like
it's like
how,
it's gotta be
but it's so
extra bad
severe.
here.
Like, obviously, there's two sides to each story, but I don't think all these are made up or a coincidence. I mean, when Riot tweets, "We're gonna wait and see," we're gonna wait. That's how you know something's messed up. Because if nothing happened, they outright and be like, "These allegations are not true. We encourage a strong, all the PR bullshit." This they were like, "Okay, we're gonna wait and try and figure this out." That's how you know there's a problem. Like,
Yeah, like because the another studio went through this. The studio behind Detroit Become Human. I can't really quite remember it. Where and they tried denying it all outright, like right away and stuff. So then you have Riot Games the same wait, but like yeah, so like they had an email thread between the male employees, like how they're going to penetrate one of their girl, like one of the women,
how
and
is that
then
okay?
like
Like,
that's weird. Like they also
how does
had
that
like
cross your brain?
I
Like,
don't know,
who's like, this is a good idea?
yeah, like I'm gonna let's get. It's like all the guys were a bro culture. Like I don't know, the bro culture is like the worst thing I've ever heard of, but like makes everyone look bad when they say bro culture. But
Like,
like
this just
it's
blows
not
my
just
mind.
like oh she's hot I'd like to bang her. It's no, this is how we're gonna do it. Like
Right?
who
Like, that's
does
so
that?
weird. Like at my work, people don't even want to, bother people while they're eating lunch, let alone be like, "Oh, this is how we're gonna, you know, make a baby
They
with this."
also made a list of hottest to least hot, and because one of
That's
the guys went up to one of the girls and was like, oh by the way, you're at the top of our hot list. It's like that's not a compliment.
I don't know how that happened. Like,
Like
where
what?
where where at it does your social boundaries just fall to just do all that? Obviously, they're not stupid. They know it's not a smart thing to say or even right to say, but apparently they just do it.
They just do it, man. Like I guess like Megan was talking about like she had a senior staff member message a new employee's girlfriend on Facebook asking if she was down to fuck. Who does that? Like,
For real.
like somebody else's girlfriend that you don't know. He's a new employee, so you don't really know him, but you're messaging his girlfriend on
Like,
Facebook.
why can't you respect people? Like, that's so.
You know,
I mean,
what makes me like laugh a little bit? Like Megan got like there was like a business trip or whatever, and she ended up with a mistake roomed with a man, which she didn't want to do. Which makes perfect sense to me. Like she didn't really know him that well,
right.
and the way these men talk at the riot, I wouldn't want to room with any of them.
For real.
And she said
That's.
she didn't want to room with them, and they started calling her a sexist.
Wow. Yo.
It's like
Amazing.
it's like wow, these guys here is like
They're so retarded. I
it's
mean, sorry to use such a vulgar word, but they're so dumb. Like, how. It's so. I don't even know. Like, I can't really fathom how someone could be like, I'm gonna say this. This is okay. Riot's gonna. They obviously know this is going on. So how they're only fixing it because some people call them out on it?
I think so. I think that's how it
No, I
is.
know that because they would. It, from what it seems, it's so rampant. Like these people would be immediately fired in almost every other job.
Yeah, it's probably just. It makes me think that's just how they are at the top too, right? Like
Right. That's well, it'd have to be. If you're not firing these people, you
you
are kind of
just
supporting it.
you're just probably just like that. The the founders are probably not that too different.
I mean, yeah, not to make like accusations, but like if you are aware of this and you're not doing anything to change it, kind of seems like you're for it. It's just insane.
Yeah, like yeah, she does say she says like the people who use the N word or call each other cocksuckers right outside the office of the CEOs. So, hmm, what does that say? All right,
I don't know, man.
Riot's got some stuff to work on.
Right. I'll,
But
quite a. Apparently, they need to, do a full cleansing and just fire. Apparently, everybody.
even themselves,
Right.
just start from the ground up. Like, sounds rough, man. Like, I don't know, like, because even if like I get it, some like guys are afraid to say stuff because it's their bosses or whatever. But at the same time, it's like if you're doing this shit to like my coworkers and stuff, like this is really gonna be uncomfortable at some
For
point. Like,
real. I would get offhand disrespected. Like something could be said to someone else, but I'd be like, that's disrespectful to me because you thought it was okay to like. How could you say that? Like that's so. I feel disrespected for them. I know they're disrespected like 10 times the amount I feel, but I don't see how there's definitely lots to be changed. But I'm sure the weirdest part or the messed up part, I bet you Riot just tries to sweep it under the rug. I bet you they try and the old classic ignore it and it'll go away.
probably, yeah, that's exactly what happened, which is unfortunate. Um, Maybe this is why their game's starting to suck. They don't listen. Like the one thing is, she was talking about one of them. The women were saying how I think it was Megan actually that said it in her blog about how bringing up how all the women characters are like super sexy and everything about, and she brought it up like, hey, why don't we add one that's not? And the guy said, well, nobody wants that. The women don't want to play. It's like I'm pretty sure if you go to the Reddit, like all the time, people are talking about how
I know.
there
They
needs to be something like it's just everybody says that. Like so, like all right, can we get someone who's not this overly sexy girl? Like where's our
right.
Gragas equivalent or whatever? Like
It's
they're like, oh no players want that. It's like no, just go to the front page of Reddit like every other week. It's literally on there.
right. It's Riot has a pretty poor judgment philosophy going on.
Yeah, that's like, hey, they got a
It's a big yikes from
new
me.
game development lead, so let's
Oh
see what he's
wow.
like.
Oh
Also, not
wow.
going to listen. Um, but yeah, that was a pretty heavy little section there of news. But I do recommend everyone go read that article. It's actually fairly well written, which I don't like most of what she writes, in all honesty. But I don't really care for much of Kotaku, besides like Trace and Schreier. There's a lot of issues in games media as well, but um, yeah, but it was fairly good. The other the reason I said I don't like most of what she writes, going into Smash Bros. Ultimate, she wrote about how there's too many Fire Emblem characters. First of all, they have a lot of things where like they write like half an article, and finishes kind of like incomplete. That's how it kind of felt. It's like
Yeah.
there were 7 Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros. They have over 80 characters. All right, here's it is, which the Nintendo Direct for Smash Bros. Ultimate was this week. Like over 100 stages, over like 80 characters. Just
I feel like there's no such thing as too many characters in a fighting game.
I agree, but it's
Like how
like
can you tell me that with a straight face?
it's also like I could understand the argument. It's like she did mention it right at the very end, like how they're all like the sword users or whatever. Like yes, Fire Emblem has a lot, but they're taking their main characters from basically because they added Crom, who's was highly requested, so they're listening to the people. Like that's what they wanted. I could understand if you want like Hector and Edward from Fire Emblem 3, which is the first one in the US, who is an axe user and a spear wielder. That'd be kind of interesting, but that's not
But
where they
like,
went.
even so, even if it's like, well, this is just my opinion. Even if like you have a character from a series and then you have a different character from a series and they both have literally the same exact moveset, I still wouldn't see a problem. It's just basically like a skin.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what Chrom's like an Echo Fighter, kind of like Dark Samus was announced too as an Echo Fighter.
right,
Uh,
like, why is that an issue?
I don't know. Like,
People,
not it's like Nintendo only has so many series to pull from that are first party. Or like Fire Emblem was not really first party, but Fire Emblem is a Nintendo based thing. They got Mario, Donkey Kong, Metroid has like 3 characters you can choose.
right, you have
Samus,
Zelda, which has like 3.
yeah, like Legend of Zelda, which they have 6 for Zelda. They have Link, Young Link, Toon Link, Zelda Sheik, and Ganondorf, right? But like,
Yeah,
I mean, that it's almost like saying there's too many Mario characters. Like
it's just, I,
they
they,
they only have a few series like truly pick from. That's not third party that they have to get
right, because
licensed in.
most Nintendo games are like super main character heavy focused. Like, there's only like the main characters that are important. But
Yeah,
like, I just don't see the argument. There's too many characters. That's bad.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like this is sometimes you get a really well written article and then you get one that's not so much. The reason I really only read stuff by a
I
few people.
support Nintendo's mindset of let's get fucking everybody in this game.
Dude,
Like,
like Ultimate is looking awesome to me. Like over 800 soundtracks to listen to. Like, and the only thing they also set up like you can actually have it like off, but still listen to the music in the game and just use it as like your Nintendo Switch is like a music player with the soundtrack if you wanted to.
that's so,
They have all these features. They brought back tournament mode,
God bless.
which finally that was like one of my favorite things in Melee. Just set up, the 128 player and then just
Right.
watch all like the CPUs go at it. You had like a level 1 versus like a level
Right.
9.
That
Sometimes a
was
level
so,
1 would win. It
it's like,
looks like it only goes up to 64 though, not the 128, which is kind of disappointing. Or it was 32
surprising.
or something like that. It was like 32 or 64. I can't quite remember. Uh, but we got King K. Rool announced as a character. He's fucking big, dude. He
That's
made
cool.
Bowser look small.
That's super. I just love they're getting so many characters. Like, that's so cool to me.
Yeah, they're bringing it. They still got more to announce, more Echo Fighters.
All we need now is Waluigi.
Well, that's what everyone wants, dude. There's a glimmer of hope still.
There is. I think they'll do it.
My favorite thing
People
is
are a bit too aggressive on that like request. Like, I saw people like harassing people because
people are on the internet. They're just insane.
right. But when he's announced, people are gonna lose their
No, they're gonna
minds.
lose it. Like, that Smash meme that's going on where like all these people are like, oh, this person's announced as a character. It was showing Waluigi come down, and then it was Sakurai on the front going, no.
That's one of my favorite memes right now, where it's like just a random like popular clip of something, and it does the little Smash background and Smash like layout over it.
But no, it's coming out December 7th. I'm so excited. Like, I just hope it plays a little bit. Like, if it plays better than Smash 4, I'll be fine. It doesn't play like Melee perfect, but as long as I can enjoy it and stuff, you're definitely coming over. We're definitely going to be playing it. Definitely going to be streaming it. And
Let's do it.
We're going to play it a lot, okay? That's what we're doing. Like, there's just so
I'm
much.
down.
They have like a whole bunch of new modes, whole much stuff added for like competitive, non-competitive. You can set up for stock to be your default game mode. Finally, no one plays time attack. Who plays time attack? No, no one plays time attack.
Literally no one.
Like, no one. Period. The mash levels thing, where like you can pick 2 levels, and at some point it'll transform into the other one. That's
so
kind of cool.
unique.
Because I wouldn't be surprised they do that even in competitive scene. Because that like
There could be like combinations that make it like,
yeah, like Final Destination and like Dream of Fountain Dreams. Like,
yeah, I'm sure they'll try it.
that is going to be an interesting thing to see where the rule sets go for competitive, because
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot. But that segues into Evo. Evo was last
You and your
weekend.
segues.
Yeah, Evo was last weekend. Uh, got all the fighting tournaments. We watch Melee. That's it.
Right,
So
our biggest is Melee. I will watch like things from here and there, but I'm not. I follow Melee. I'll
yeah,
say.
we follow Melee more. I don't mind
Right,
watching the others, but Leffen came out on top. Uh, the big thing really from Evo is that Leffen's given part of his funding or winnings to fifth and seventh place. He didn't make as much,
right. It's a pretty big discrepancy,
but
which I mean,
makes sense.
right. It's normal for. I think Evo might have it a bit super high. It's like 60-65% for first
Sixty
place or
percent,
something.
which I think is reasonable, but I guess
But is that like the standard? Because isn't like a standard like 40, I'd say.
I don't know, to be honest. If it is, then yeah, maybe it is too high.
I don't mean like a stand, but there's usually like
Yeah, I get it because I'm trying to think like because there are other sports that are like there are sports that are done the exact same way. Like PGA is done the exact same way, where if you're not the top, 60, you're not really making money or making a living and stuff. But here, it's the top seven aren't. But I think because that was the big discussion is like the payouts and everything. But I think that just comes from having such a small money pool.
yeah, it's definitely because Nintendo doesn't really
Yeah, Nintendo.
support Melee monetarily. Like they
I
don't
mean,
really
they
give it
probably
money.
like I get the viewership's big, but like it's such an old game from their past. They're
Well,
onto the
I
Switch.
actually read someone's good point. It's like there's nothing really to market with Melee. So like for example, if you have like CS:GO, it's like, "Oh, CS:GO sponsored by HyperX, buy our, you know, our graphics cards. Oh, Corsair, buy this headset. Oh, Corsair again, buy this
And
keyboard."
then even Valve's got like, hey, loot boxes get these team skins and stuff like that.
Right, because like you can kind of market things with other games, especially computer games. It's like, here's every computer setup, so that's where you can
And the
generate
problem with like
money.
Melee, it's on a GameCube. They're not trying to sell GameCubes anymore. They're not trying
Right,
to
they
sell
don't.
GameCube controllers. Well, actually, it's still GameCube controllers because, uh,
I don't even
yeah,
think Nintendo makes GameCube controllers anymore, do they?
the Ultimate, Smash Ultimate has a bundle with a GameCube controller.
Right, but I don't think
So
they
I
like.
would say they have to start making them again. Right.
Yeah,
Well, I guess if you only sell X amount of bundles, you only need to make X amount of controllers. So they might
right.
not make and sell controllers
And I mean, yeah,
because most people are just going to play with their
the control they
like
already have.
the the Switch Pro or the Joy Cons. So yeah, you are right there. That's why there's no reason for them to really truly jump in. They don't have like
It's.
microtransactions for Smash.
I mean, it's kind of.
That's why it's based on the
I mean,
audience.
it's a company decision, really,
Yeah,
to like, because I can see it from their point of view. It's like, okay, let's say we do give $500,000 to Next Evo.
they ain't gonna
What
make
does
that
that
back
get
off
them?
of what. Yeah, because they have to
It's
be
not
able to
gonna.
make a profit.
I mean, at the best, you could. I guess you could take part of Evo's entry fees, but that's not gonna make it like there was like what around 1,500 this year. That's not gonna bump it to like 10,000. It's gonna maybe increase it by a couple hundred more tops.
Yeah, so they just need to figure out a way to get a bigger prize pool. I like my idea is just have merch for that event that viewers can buy, audience members can buy because I would if it's cool merch and stuff, and then take some of that purchase and then put it into the pool. Um, Allow viewers to donate to the pool or anything like that. They just don't do anything to allow other people besides the entries fees to
Right.
build up that pool. And
I
they need to
wonder if
look at other
that's
ways to do it.
I wonder if that's an Evo thing issue though, because Evo's not like coincided with Melee specifically.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like everything.
Yeah, I didn't really look at the pools for the other games to see how well they did.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh, but yeah, that's all there. The other big thing is, plagiarism at IGN. Uh, another.
I saw this, but I didn't see like the details of.
So, Philip, who is the recently a head editor at IGN. He finally got to do his first video review by himself. And he copied a small YouTuber, Boomstick Gaming. That's where it always comes from, is people plagiarize the small guys who don't have viewership. But Boomstick has like 20,000 subs now or something like that. He made a video like, hey, IGN copied me. Like, what do I do? And that got a lot of traction.
Like, what? Sorry to like interrupt, but why do companies think they'll get away with this? Even if the original poster had 0 subscribers, he could post it on Reddit and it's gonna get traction. Like,
Yeah.
he could post a thread like, hey, IGN copied this, and it's blowing up. Like, if it's true, obviously, it's gonna blow up no matter what. So I don't. It kind of boggles my mind that these people are like, yeah, people definitely won't notice that I copied this.
So, yeah, the review was taken down. IGN was like, we're going to investigate, see what happened. The next day, they fired him because, they determined he was plagiarizing. Jason Schreier over at Kotaku wrote about it. Like, he went into it. He also found out that he plagiarized before working at IGN. Like, back on a FIFA 17 review or something like that, he copied some dude at was it Nintendo Life Hack or something like that.
They just go up to him and be like, hey, did you plagiarize?
FIFA 18. Nintendo Life is where the review is like, and he looked at it. He does what like I did in high school, right? Where you look at something, you take it, and then you reword it or throw some stuff around, and then you're kind of like borderline plagiarizing, but you are, but like just enough to trick your teacher, right? Like make it look like.
But that's different. That's not, getting money from it or like.
Well, the thing is, he played the game that he reviewed. Like, why can't you just write it? Why do you go copy someone else who also played the game? Like, you played it. You're there giving your review. Why are you looking at other people's review other than just to copy?
Right. Like, I mean, I could see people looking at reviews to see how others structure a review, but I wouldn't take other people's opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's not my review.
But like, so he issued an apology video, of course.
I'm sure that
where he
says over the people.
He says it was it was like the plagiarism was unintentional, never meant to do it, and then he goes, but I take responsibility. It's like, dude, you can't say it was unintentional and then take responsibility. Like,
right. If it was unintentional, then you are saying that you didn't plagiarize knowingly, and but when you say, hey, I take responsibility, you just contradict what you just said.
And then he attacked Jason Schreier in there for calling him out. And he's like, I don't know if you just like kicking a man when he's down or, making fake stories for views. But you can keep looking. I've never plagiarized anything. And you say that FIFA 18, no, it's just similar structure, similar experience, okay? And then he's like, Jason Schreier later goes, okay. And then he found another story he plagiarized.
Yikes.
It's like, dude, come on. From Samus Returns, though.
Why? Just own up to it, man.
Yeah, like,
just say, yes, I
his
plagiarized.
His video has, like, a crap ton of dislikes.
I bet you it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, but he did that. And then the other thing was, like, one of the people at IGN made a statement saying, this is the worst apology I've seen since Kevin Spacey.
Oh, God.
It's like, holy shit. Like this guy's done for. There's a whole bunch of other drama going around it with other, like, journalists and stuff like that, but it's like, come on, man. You finally got your chance to do your first video review at IGN, and this is what you do.
Right, like
if you're gonna play a game,
I bet you that Boomstick guy's thanking him, like, shit, thanks for getting my content out to the people.
Maybe he gets hired to fill that spot.
Thanks for falling on the sword for me.
Yeah, because he didn't even apologize to Boomstick. He just said, hey, Boomstick, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good stuff. I started at YouTube as well. And just kind of giving himself some credit out of it. And it started going on like, oh yeah, I started out as a small YouTube. It's like, dude, apologize to the damn guy.
Some other guy copied me. That's just, come on, dude. That's embarrassing. I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah, so rough news in video games this week.
For real, everyone's messing up.
Let's just try to jump over to some positive stuff. Persona 3 and 5, the dancing games, were bumped up from 2019 to December 4th of this year.
Interesting. That's pretty.
They didn't even have us. It was like spring 2019 or something like that before. But now we're finally going to be getting them here in the US this year. I already pre-ordered the collector's edition because I'm a nerd and I love this stuff.
Hey, I don't blame you. I haven't played Persona, but watch the anime right now.
But yeah, so I'm excited to do those. I love rhythm games. Rhythm games are fun. Then Persona Q2, we got more news with that. You don't have to play Persona Q, the first one. You don't have to play, Persona 4, 3, 5, even watch the anime or anything. It's gonna have its own unique story. And you don't choose the main protagonist this time around. Last time, on Persona Q, you had Persona 4 and 3 characters, and you got to choose which one to start with in the beginning, and then you met up with the other team. This one, you don't really choose. So you're going to have 28 Persona users to choose from when you build out your party, which your party's of 5 people. So you got a lot of people you can rotate around for your party of 5. If you're me, you pick 5, you end up sticking with that 5 throughout the whole time. Then your other 23 are going to be low leveled. And it's the first one that's going to have both. It's going to have both the Persona 3 male and female protagonists at the same time, which is kind of weird, considering in the PSP you got to choose one or the other. And the Persona 3 female protagonist is going to be pretty heavily used, I guess, in Persona Q2, which is kind of cool. It'll be the first time for me seeing the female protagonist, considering I did not have a PSP. Torchlight Frontiers got an announcement trailer, which we played Torchlight 2.
We have played Torchlight 2. Is this the third installment, I'm guessing?
Yes. So I didn't look too much into it, so I don't know exactly what's going on. It's just an announcement trailer, so hey, we got this game. There wasn't too much in the trailer besides just announcing the game. That's what they do.
Right.
So Torchlight 2 was pretty fun. If they keep it cheap, like Torchlight 2 was, I'll probably gladly jump in.
Hey, keep it cheap for us.
It's not a game I would spend full money on, but it is something. We got the Red Dead Redemption gameplay trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, which I know is huge for a lot of people. A lot of people love Red Dead Redemption.
It's funny. I have actually not played Red Dead Redemption.
Same.
But I do know people love it. I've seen gameplay of it, and it does look fun.
It just never appealed to me, I guess I could say. I've talked about this last week. I love the old Western kind of style and setting in my TV, movies, anime. But I haven't really found one in a game that I actually like or like the feel of. It just never piqued my interest. Red Dead Redemption 2. The gameplay trailer, 6 minutes long. I got a minute and a half before I was too bored. It wasn't even
no. Oh no.
Oh no, controversy.
Oh no.
It was like a commentary, kind of this is how our mechanics work kind of gameplay trailer. And it was just all right, I get it. You're a cowboy, you're shooting stuff up. Well, you're an outlaw shooting stuff up. That's good enough for me.
They know people are gonna go crazy to get it.
Oh, they are. It's a rock. It's a Rocksteady game.
Of course, GTA 5 Western.
Pretty much, yeah. Then we got the Doom Eternal gameplay trailer. Now that was a gameplay trailer. It's Doom, all right. Doom is super violent, so that's what you expect to get from it. And it was just, oh hey, look at how violent we are. I didn't even play the new Doom. I like the old original Doom. I still actually like playing that. Has a good feel to it.
But I think I've played it a bit. I never owned Doom or played it a ton. I think I've played it. I know I've played it. I can't remember specifically.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was a PC gamer. So Ed was pretty big back then. So Doom, Wolfenstein. I played those like crazy. Uh, the only like computer games I played more than those were Duke Nukem 3D and the Duke Nukem 2D games. Uh, Huge Duke Nukem fan as a kid at 6 years old. Don't play those games when you're 6 years
Right.
old.
I wouldn't suggest it.
I won't
My
suggest it,
goodness.
but I ain't gonna look down on it either. Like, man, my parents didn't know. They were like, go play your games. Actually, I'm pretty sure my dad did. Oh, he didn't care. Great dad. let me play these super overly sexualized,
okay.
violent games. Yeah, I turned out not perfect, but I turned out.
I am still existing.
Yeah. The other thing was Resident Evil 2 is getting multiple versions. One version's like $900.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Oh, it's like $900. So
$900.
there's a $675 keyboard, right?
I was about to ask if it came with a, personal zombie killer.
No, there's a
It's just a
keyboard.
keyboard.
It looks fucking phenomenal, dude. Like it's got the typewriter look.
You better feed
It's
me
got
as
the,
I
it's got like the
play.
classic like Resident Evil typewriter look to it. Not for $675 look though, but I would definitely not mind it.
Here, I'm pulling
If
it
someone
up.
wants to send that to me, be sure to
Okay.
DM me.
That does look cool. I will say that.
But not $675.
No way in
cool.
hell I'm paying that much money.
If you get this. See, they always do this, like something crazy. Resident Evil 6, I want to say, came with the Leon Kennedy jacket. So
That's
you
pretty.
like they just really do like. Also, in the $900 version, you're getting a 12-inch statue of Leon, so that's cool. I have statues of characters. You can barely pick out Aloy back there, but I didn't pay that much for her. I paid like an extra $60 for her. Okay, not
That's
an
so
extra,
much.
not an extra $200. So, and there's some other stuff that comes with it. You know, you get your like art books and all that stuff, soundtracks,
Right.
other goodies.
Game
That does not
related.
equal up to $900.
Right.
But for you Resident Evil fans, I'm a huge fan. I'm definitely gonna get Resident Evil 2, play it day one. But I'll get my standard edition.
I will say the keyboard does look nice, but that's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no thank you. We got Twitch is removing their IRL to add 10 more categories.
I saw this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a good change.
I think it's a smart change. I did see people complaining about it though.
Well, the one complaint, like, all right, here are the categories. You got art, hobbies and crafts is one, food and drink another one, music and performing arts is one, beauty and body art one, science and technology, just chatting, travel and outdoors is one, sports and fitness is one, tabletop RPGs, which needed one, so I'm glad that's there. Special events, which would be like your TwitchCon E3 packs of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk shows and podcasts. So, hey,
I thought they already had that.
No, that was done under game. No, yeah, that was done under game or talk shows or something like that, right? Did they already have like a game?
I think they have like a talk show category or something like that.
Yeah, I thought they did. And then ASMR. So for your,
I think it's smart to split them up.
Yeah.
Especially as a user.
Yeah, the complaint I saw was the hobbies and craft section. Like, I think if they removed the word hobby and left it as craft, because like they put cosplay there, and cosplay is a professional art, and they're doing painting, they're doing building, they're doing all that stuff that would go in the art category, but they're saying it can't go there; it has to go in hobbies and crafts. That was one of the complaints I saw, which I kind of understand. That it's not like, it's like I play basketball as a hobby, but if I was a professional basketball player, I wouldn't say it's a hobby.
Right.
It's your career.
I also saw complaints from like streamers, like they don't want it separated because it could affect the views they get. Because obviously, because IRL is a huge section.
Yeah.
So if like you draw more people to this one bunched up category, you have the bigger chance of getting like other people. Like, oh, this person looks interesting. But I think that's just a minor complaint
See, the
to
thing
me.
I saw was that those people like they kind of switch between things like, oh, they're kind of like outdoor, but then they're doing just chatting. Like just chatting and this whole thing is kind of weird too for your Q&As, because then they're like, oh, if I'm doing this now I have to switch back and forth between these categories constantly. um, and like
I think it's
food and drink is its own, so if you're technically eating you have to be in food and drink, and then if you're just chatting with them you have to switch from food and drink to chatting. And if you
I'd
go
assume food
outside,
and drink is like if you're out eating.
it says from cooking to eating and everything in
Oh,
between.
cooking. I guess cooking's a big
Yeah,
one.
cooking and eating and everything in between is categories anything related to the creation, culture, or consumption of food and drinks.
I I don't think Twitch is going to be too strict on
Yeah,
things like
they're barely strict
well,
now.
well, I guess it depends on. Well, when it comes to categories, I don't think they care. Other things they're strict on,
Yeah,
but
categories.
categories they're pretty lenient. I don't think they're gonna be like if I'm playing League and then I take a bite out of a cracker, they're gonna be like, change your category.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're gonna care.
But I don't know.
But yeah,
I think it's
I
I
think
think
it's
it's a
smart.
good change,
Yeah, me
because you
too.
can actually, when you go through IRL, you don't want to go through all the riffraff you don't care about to get to something you do care about. Like,
And it
I would just
opens up like
remove
newer.
like hobbies. Like they put hobbies and crafts. Like everything they list there is a craft. I don't know why they decided to go with the word hobby.
I mean, technically everything's a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is a
Like playing
poor
a game is
word
a hobby,
choice. Yeah, it's a kind of weird word choice to me. But other
right?
than that, it's definitely a smart move. Um, the other, the last big thing in games was like Discord's opening a store, a game store, kind of like Steam.
Interesting. I think
Uh,
that's actually smart because I've already seen like on the Discord like homepage you can click play on a game you have and it'll just automatically open for you.
yeah, they also, I think it might be under their, was it Discord Nitro or whatever their thing's called. I've never actually looked into it, but they also have like it's already built in like overlays with your games, or your chat's already just built into it pretty well. It's but Steam chat sucks. uh
Yeah, like I think that's pretty smart. Like they already got the community, so they already have people like, oh, just let's jump on Discord or let's get on Discord. So if they have a store there for a game you like, you're already there. Just click buy, got them.
yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, they could beat out Steam if they do it. Like Steam takes 30%, kind of like Google does, which is why a lot of people are no longer putting their stuff on Steam, like Fortnite, or stop putting their stuff on Google, because
It's a
Google
big
takes
chunk.
30%, Steam takes 30%. So like Bethesda games like Fallout 76 is not going to be on Steam. And like the big companies, they already have their, you got your Uplay, your Bethesda.net, your Battle.net and stuff like that. So if you don't have to put it on Steam, I mean, people, if they're going to play the game, they're going to download your client. It's not hard to make an account on a new client. It's not a big deal.
Right. I can see Discord, you know, this being like actually pretty popular.
And I think that they could say like, oh, we'll only take 25%. That's 5% lower than the Steam they already went.
Yeah. We'll take probably even lower because they can.
Yeah, they could
I'm
take
sure they
lower,
already
but I'm just saying like, I mean, you could keep, as long as it's lower than Steam, exactly
right.
win.
And I mean, they'd probably go to people and be like, "Hey, people literally hang out on our app or application, whatever you want to call it." So they're already gonna be because not everyone gets home and be like, "I'm gonna jump on Steam."
True, like we're in Discord all the time, and like half the time I'm not even playing a game on Steam.
Right. Because I
More
think
than
that's
half the time, it's like 90% I'm not playing on
I
Steam.
think that's the biggest thing. It's like we already have the customers constantly there, so they're gonna see it. And I mean, why, if there's a game on Discord versus Steam, why go load up Steam to buy something I'm already on? So I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Um, but that's everything in the games this week. That was the long section of this podcast, but we are expecting that, especially with some of the breaking news and stuff. That's why we're not jumping into topics as well this week. We'd be here.
Right.
This would be like a 7-hour podcast.
It was gaming was pretty intense.
So we'll just quickly jump into movies. Not too much going to movies. Marvel movies are no longer going to be coming to Netflix after Ant-Man and the Wasp, because Disney has their own streaming service that they're launching. So
Are they gonna? Because sometimes I see Marvel movies on YouTube TV. Are they removing it from there, or is there like a? I wonder if there's like a.
I don't know, to be honest, on YouTube TV. I wonder. No, because I think YouTube TV has Disney under it as their thing too.
They do, I think.
I mean, and they probably have a better deal with them, if I were going to guess.
I think because sometimes on YouTube TV you actually have to watch it the same time it's airing.
Yeah,
so.
But
I'm surprised Disney wants to make their own. Well, I'm not surprised because Disney literally wants to run the world, but do they really need that much more money? Like,
yeah, dude. Like,
I'm sure Netflix gives them a big chunk for their movies.
I would guess so, or at least something. Like,
but I feel like
that's my thing. Like, I wonder how well. I'm guessing a lot of people will do it because it's Disney. A lot of things are Disney, but I look at it as like, how many services are people already paying for? Now you're asking them to pay for one more. I'm paying for Netflix. I don't know if I want to pay for Netflix and Disney. I'm not going to drop Netflix just for Disney movies.
Exactly.
Like, if you're paying for HBO and Netflix, do you really want to add Disney to your HBO and Netflix plans?
Right. Yeah.
Because Disney,
there's already tons of subscription-based things. Like, not only just movies. Like, there's Spotify. There's other. Like, there's tons of stuff. I can only pay X amount per month until I'm need to, eat some food or something else. Like,
exactly. Like, and Disney's late to the game. Like, everyone already has their streaming services out there and ready.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's successful because Disney, they managed to literally do everything.
They have a lot of great movies out there. Like,
but I feel like from my just personal customer standpoint, I feel like it's just pointless.
I'd rather have it on Netflix. I'm not paying for Disney, so I guess I'm gonna have to watch it in some other means. But no, so I'm guessing that only applies to Disney Marvel, not Sony Marvel. But Sony, so I would imagine Spider-Man could still be on there because Disney doesn't own Spider-Man, Sony does. So I'm guessing how that's going to work with like Infinity War, and the Infinity War is like the next Avengers movies because they have Spider-Man in there, which Sony lent to Disney or whatever. So what if Sony wants those movies on Netflix, right? Like, who has the contractual agreement there?
I wonder if that was already worked out, like pre-Infinity, like when they first asked to use Spider-Man. I don't know.
Is it gonna be like, oh, we'll give you a cut of our whoever watches this on Disney streaming service or whatever? It's like kind of interesting to think about.
Right. God, come on, Disney. Just go. Stop.
But I'm bringing up Sony because they're announcing their universe of Marvel characters. So they're going to do their own little MCU, but with Sony characters, which Sony owns 900 Marvel characters. They own the big one, Spider-Man. Like, one of the big ones at least. So they already have, several in production or being planned. They got Spider-Man Far From Home is the next one. They got Venom is coming out. Then a few I don't know who Morbius the Living Vampire is. I know who Black Cat is. I slightly know who Silver Sable is. And I don't know who Jackbot is. Those are like their next.
I feel like these aren't. These feel like audience targeted specific. Because I don't know who any of them are besides obviously Spider-Man and Venom.
Black Cat's pretty well known too.
But I mean, I guess that's how the original Marvel characters would have been if you asked me like 10 or 11 years ago before they all. So I guess it could work. I don't know.
They have 900 characters. I don't know what those 900 characters are they have. Spider-Man itself has a lot of cool ones. Like Venom's pretty cool if they just have to do it right, but that applies to anyone. Spider-Man's been really good so far. So
Didn't Sony have the Fantastic Four?
no, Fox does,
That was Fox. Yeah.
which is now under Disney because I think Disney bought that studio from Fox. So
Wow, I'm shocked that
I
Disney
don't know if
bought.
Fox has any left. I think they sold all that to Disney along with X-Men and all that.
Right.
So I guess we could see X-Men eventually at some point in the MCU. But I'm trying to remember. Like I know Sony has Spider-Man. That's like the only one I can remember they have.
That's it.
Out of the 900s. A lot of those are probably within Spider-Man itself. Probably like 200 of them. But
yeah,
they got them.
I feel like they're another late to the party thing.
Dude, everyone's going to these cinematic universes. Like Call of Duty has a cinematic universe in the works right now.
But like, I mean, look at DC. They were late, and
yeah, but those DC
they did okay.
Movies suck. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they did okay just because they're big name heroes.
Yeah, if those movies were good, they would have been just as big, I think, as the Marvel cinematic universe.
But they rushed it because they were late. Because Marvel's like, hey, we're gonna start this shit 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then they started with each individual character. DC's like, let's just throw them all in one movie. Start off right that like right. Start out with Batman vs Superman, tie in a few of them in there. That's not how you do it, guys. I'm sorry. Also, Batman vs Superman sucks, so that doesn't help.
Right. Also, there's been like 38 Batmans. Come on.
Yeah, you guys do a Batman that's not as good as the Dark Knight's already topped for Batman.
Right, the trilogy from Christopher Nolan. He put every other Batman to shame. Like, you tried, but you're too late.
Yeah. And then that's everything in movies. This would normally be the section where like listeners and stuff, but that'll happen later.
Right.
At some point. Maybe after this one. A lot of controversy in this one. This will get us somewhere.
Spicy.
Well, yeah, everyone, thanks for coming by and listening to We Be Talking episode 2. A lot of stuff to talk about in this one. This one's a little longer by a lot, I think, than the last episode.
Right. But hey, it was quite
heavy.
A lot of stuff to get through.
Yeah.
I feel like next week's gonna be not as
there's no way in hell unless something else tops this. I was like sexism in all gaming developers. Like sexism, like I don't know, like Activision or something, Call of Duty or
right.
I highly doubt, but yeah, I think that's for sure. So everyone, thank you. Be sure to if you're over here. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that. Be sure to look out for the next episode. And until then, peace out.
See ya.